Good afternoon, traders. It's luck of the Irish day, I think. I think I'm like 28% Irish, so I get to celebrate tonight. My daughter pinched me for
Is
not.
it?
It is, and my daughter pinched me for not wearing green, and I said, "Look, I got a red beard. I think that qualifies as Irish for the day." So,
You got me actually check. I mean, I pulled my sweater and checked my. I think I got some green on somewhere. Oh, look at that.
well, the market was had some movement in the morning, and then it kind of got quiet, which we kind of maybe predicted that it would do that because we got FOMC tomorrow at I think it's at 2 o'clock. So be looking out for that tomorrow. But it did hit some targets. So why don't you go ahead and take us through that? I know some people made some money today. So what do you got?
Yeah. Yeah. Overall, I mean, I gotta say it was actually a pretty awesome day in the sense that we had movement, we took it, we had it. It's okay. It's funny. I was thinking about this earlier. Somebody had sent me a message, and they were asking, how many points do I go? It was one of the new guys. He's like, how many points do you typically go for in a day? And I was explaining to him, like, the market has, movement that it already predefines out that's what I shoot for. So I don't really know what else to tell people sometimes. I'm like, no, it's just exactly what the market's looking to do. So anyhow, we'll start with the ES. This is going to be real simple, folks. We had the overnight, all the Globex run here. We went ahead and post-marked this one back here from the Globex session. It didn't really have anything to do with what we were ended up trading today ultimately, but I did want to make people aware that the Globex had gone through one of our rubber bands, so I marked it with a line. It was way back here at 67.59 quarter. The reason it's important, of course, is that we didn't have any additional downside targets to deal with on the ES from the start. Therefore, it's something that can certainly come back into play. But otherwise, where's our 920? Here's our 920 bar. So this is what we started the day off with. Really simple. They were clearly in an uptrend. And with respect to how we teach in the room, I do not chase. I do my best to just let things play out because the market doesn't always go in one direction. It doesn't always go up. It doesn't always go down. It will do something to consolidate or pull back, and you can usually get a better entry. And then the opposite end of that is that if it doesn't, and if it just goes, then we missed it. We just have to kind of accept that that's just the reality. Nevertheless, it didn't take too much longer. So here at about 9:25, just during our conversation, we laid out that there was a pretty decent hurdle to the top side up here at 8:05 quarter. And we didn't get much of a push past it, 3 points, so reasonable. And then after that, it was really pretty straightforward. They made their way back to the decision point here at 87 quarter, and I mentioned it several times that if anybody took the hurdle, if you went short, which is a logical trade, then you definitely need to be taking profit as it reaches back towards the decision point because you don't know until later if it's going to ultimately turn on you. It did push through by quite a bit here at 10:20, and that gave me a little bit more information to then share with the room and said that if it comes back up anywhere near high mid one and you missed the entry at the hurdle, you can try it again. It did come up short, however, on the ES. When you get over to the NQ, you'll see what it did. But it was literally the exact same thing at the same time. So it did come up short there, but then it did ultimately get to all three of our downside targets. And that's the whole day right there. After that, to Bob's point, FOMC's tomorrow, it just wasn't worth doing a whole lot left with. If they didn't just hit this rubber band and just blast through it and just take off, had they come back closer to like the 59 quarter, there would have been the potential for more today, but as you can see, they did not. NQ, very similar story as the ES. However, this one gave me personally the entry that I was looking for, and that made me what I ended up making today. So they had a upward scenario, and again, I post-date some of these sometimes to let people understand where the market has been and what they've accomplished so far. So again, at 9:05, they did get to our rubber band of that scenario, and then it was just off to the races. So here we are, at 9:20. Here we go. So we're starting the room at 9:20, and it's the same thing on the NQ as it was the ES. You know, if it's gonna go, it's gonna go. Don't chase it. Otherwise, we had a decision point just ahead of us at 16, so 25,016, and we had a hurdle above us. So where the ES actually ended up coming up, the ES overshot its hurdle by just a few points. The NQ undershot its hurdle by just a few points. So that's right there a perfect spot where you can use market correlation because the ES and the NQ do track very closely with each other with respect to timing. If one's achieving a pretty significant level and another one's maybe coming up short or has potentially overshot, you got to stay within reason. Like, I'm not saying, you know, if they're way beyond, like, go ahead and keep doing it. There's probably a justifiable reason to stay out of it potentially. But here, this was, you know, came up short by a little bit. I missed it. I didn't get the entry here, which was unfortunate because it came up short. But same deal, it dropped, and I gave the exact same re-entry at the high mid. This is where I got in personally, so this is my only NQ trade today. Got in at the high mid and took it to all three targets, and the hurdle here to the downside. So if I just extend this over, that was it. That was the whole day. So it's worth pointing out, folks, that we have all this stuff mapped out. I don't know, it can be 15 minutes ahead of time all the way to 4 hours ahead of time, because price is price and the market will react, you know, with that price as it's kind of set out to react. So you can do the best you can to try to figure out the timing of it, but it doesn't really matter. If you know price, it could do this at 3 in the morning, you know, it just doesn't make a difference. Yeah, that's all I got for the review. It was really short and sweet. What do you got, Bud?
That was about it. I was watching you guys in the morning. Then I had to take my soon-to-be new driver over to the DMV. So I came back and was like, hey, it was quiet after I left. So I was okay with that.
Yeah, I know. I bailed it. As soon as that thing got to the rubber band on the NQ, I was out. I was finished. It was perfectly good. That's what, about 120 points on the NQ today. That was okay.
Not too shabby. We're definitely not scalpers.
Not too shabby.
Definitely not scalpers around here.
It's not, I don't know. We get people who have the scalping background, and I'd have to just break them of that, because you can lose a scalp just as fastly as you can win a scalp. So it's best, in my opinion, to try to hold, like, to the best of your ability. We've got guys that they're doing really well. I want to, like, name names, but I'm super impressed. You know, they're listening and they're engaging, and they're really their training's getting better and better. It's really awesome.
Yeah, it's been fun listening to some of the guys, you know, not only their entries and stuff, but their psychology, you know, just being able to just say, hey guys, I think it's time for me to grab a coffee and just watch for a while. And, you know, so I think it's good to see people, you know, getting a little bit better in that department as well. It's certainly helping. So
yeah, I think we had 2 people today commented exactly that. They were just like, I see what you're saying, and I've been here long enough to recognize a bad market when I can see it. I'm gonna go get a cup of coffee. It's like, yeah, do that, because you're right. You come back with fresh eyes, and I promise the market's not going anywhere. We're just kind of staying sideways.
And we got a health conscious guy. Instead of grabbing a coffee, he ran for an hour on the treadmill while he watched. So hey, man, you know, it's.
Oh my gosh.
Well, anyway, as you can hear, it's a great group. So, like George said, come join us. You know, click the link down below. Definitely get a free trial for a week. You don't have to pay for anything, and you get a free coaching session with George. So, okay, George, thanks for your time.
All right, guys, enjoy your rest of your day.